Delighted to say I'm joined by Cavan footballer Padraig Faulkner as AIB launched their sponsorship of the 2021 GAA All-Ireland Senior Football Championships. So AIB has celebrated the return of summer football and the recognition of county rivalries nationwide ahead of some of the #toughest games of the year. Padraig, how are you doing? Are you well?
Hi Shane, how are you?
Not too bad. Looking forward to getting into championship football.
That's it. Another year back at it. Looking forward to getting in, and now it's back in the summer months. So yeah.
Yeah, I was reading an article that you did after winning the Ulster title last year, that brilliant win you had over Donegal. And, you know, your father, Pat, and your uncle, Michael, had played for Cavan. What were the sort of football memories you had when you were growing up?
Yeah, I suppose I was kind of too young to see those boys play. But first fondest memories would have been with the club, going down and watching some of the lads play. Then, you know, we would always had under-8 blitzes and different things like that. So that would have been obviously fond memories from when we were way back then. But yeah, it was always something that I just wanted to develop into as a footballer.
Yeah, because within that interview, like, I got this sort of sense of a development as an all-round player. You often hear about lads that are good at one sport. It's because they maybe played a load of different ones when they were younger. So, you know, you were kind of, the quote you had is that your dad promoted soccer on you, and whatever I wanted to do, he supported me, whether it was driving to soccer, handball, it doesn't matter, and he never pushed me in any one direction. So, like, was it those sports? Were there other sports as well that you played when you were young?
Yeah, I suppose going into secondary school, we played every kind of sport just to get out of a few different classes. There was Olympic handball thrown in there. There was basketball, where we were tackling just as you tackle on a Gaelic pitch and fouling out 5 times and not realising why. But yeah, no, it was just all different sports. It's just something that kind of comes naturally to me. So there was no real local rugby teams, maybe Virginia or Navan would, but you still have to drive a half an hour to get there. So underage just wouldn't have suited just as well. But I would have loved to have played rugby as well if I ever had the chance.
Yeah, and do you think it was football? Football was always going to be your sport ultimately, or did you ever kind of flirt with the idea of sticking with others?
No, I thought it was always going in the back of my mind. You know, football is just so prominent in Kingscourt. There is great handball alleys and things down there, but it was just football was just something I always really wanted to do.
Yeah, and just even reflecting on last year, you had a long season with Kingscourt as well, didn't you? Coming into the football championship, what was that season like after coming back from COVID?
Yeah, it was brilliant. You know, we played week in, week out, and so many championship games. We went so far with Kingscourt when I suppose we were the underdogs in almost every game we played with Kingscourt. We weren't even tipped to be near the final, and I suppose we probably should have won it on the day, but just we didn't get over the line. 2 medals would have been nice for 1 year. But then just straight back into it. It was, I think we finished on the we had that game on the Saturday or Sunday night, and I think I was back training with Cavan then the Tuesday. Just didn't want the break, just wanted to get back in and get straight back into it.
Yeah, so then if we jump back to the Ulster Championship or onto the Ulster Championship last year, did you go into that thinking that we can do something this year? Because everyone else was looking at Donegal and Tyrone and, you know, Monaghan, I suppose, thinking that it was just up to them to decide who was going to win it.
I suppose I'm an optimistic. I go in thinking every year that I'm going to win it. So I'm a bad man to be asking that question too.
But so you did go straight in thinking like that we have a right good chance here, and like I've heard a lot that Andrea Quinn, that his impact since he came in, he's helped kind of develop the players in a strength and conditioning type of way. How big of an impact did he make?
Massive. You have so many lads in the peak of their, like in peak shape this year or last year, sorry. And I suppose this year too, just different factors are getting us over the line on game days. But no, Andre's just been a savage addition to a whole county setup. He has input in the minors, he's input in the 21s, and obviously then massive input in the seniors. And it's just like it's a whole county development he's striving for.
Yeah, because he had that experience, if I remember correctly, with London Irish as well, and players that went on to play for the England senior rugby team. So he's got a serious CV behind it.
Yeah, and he's got extensive research. The man, if you ask him about anything, I'd say he's that qualified that he could become a physio, even though he hasn't a qualification in it. He does that much extensive research in all different fields and aspects of sport. No, he's top man to have on your side.
So how would you have developed in the couple of years that he's been there? And obviously this isn't to disrespect anyone who did any preparation with you beforehand, but what sort of changes would you see, like more power, more speed, and what sort of training would you be doing to get that?
Yeah, exactly. Be more power, more speed, and we'd again there'd be lots of different gym exercises, a lot of power exercises. Now probably something I need to input it back into my game is a bit more speed, but no, he's just a lot of it's power to do with power, and then
pushing
again,
sleds, that sort of stuff.
Sorry,
would you be pushing sleds, or what sort of way would you?
Yeah, there would be to be dragged behind you, all right. But I suppose he's developing on stuff that has been kind of the foundations were built over years previous from Owen Maguire and Tom Cribben and lots of lads that had put the small elements that was needed before you could do power exercises.
And then just to jump onto your Ulster title win last year, I'm sure you're probably blue in the face talking about it at this stage, but you hadn't won one in 23 years. And am I right in saying my memory of the game that you were marking Michael Murphy that day? Do I have that right?
Jamie Brennan.
Oh, Jamie Brennan, yeah, and he was in serious form, like a very good footballer, could have arguably been Ulster footballer of the year before as well. What are your memories of that game?
It's kind of blurry. I can just remember going out and just constantly being down men. So I think we had 2 black cards in the game, and we had more blood subs throughout the game, and it just felt like it was so, I don't know, I wouldn't say unorganized, but so it just felt that every time we were down to 14 men, every man just felt that had to up it a wee bit more. I don't think I looked at the scoreboard the entire game. It was just a matter of just going minute by minute until Conor Madden scored the goal, and the game was a little bit out of reach.
And when he scored that goal, the high ball hung in and Sean Patton didn't quite get to it. What's your memory of that goal? I suppose maybe you're gasping for air at that stage of the game anyway, but what did you see? What was the picture in your head?
It kind of was slow motion. You could just see Madden was in acres of space, and it just looked like it was going to happen. Yeah. I think he was out round where the ball was kicked from, so he ran the whole way down to the ball towards it. And once that was kind of kicked in, we just knew the game was just a little bit out of reach, even though they had possibly 2 goal chances at the end. And man, I was marking Jamie Brennan had a goal chance at the end, and Ray McGalligan had to pull off a great save as well, and everything just was on song that day.
Yeah, and then the final whistle going, what was that like?
Unbelievable. Just so many emotions. you didn't know whether you were going around like mad egots, just jumping around and find the nearest man to you to celebrate.
And then at what stage then did you get to meet your family and all that, obviously steeped in football and folklore there?
It was lovely. We got back to Breffni, and obviously I'm sure you heard there was a bit of a car parade there, but we got an hour in Breffni of where the gates were closed, and it was only family members allowed in. Family members were told to be in an hour or 2 early just to wait on us, and there was grub given up, and the grub supplied to us, and we just kind of sat out and ate in the seats in Breffni. You were only allowed maybe 3 or 4 family members in, and it was lovely. It was really, really nice. And if it was a big game day, you have thousands of people crowding you, where it was just you were with your loved ones, and that was just so special and so nice.
And all the messages flooding in, no doubt too. And even that tweet, Joe Brawley talking about your father kicking him up in the air, that was kind of a funny one.
Yeah, usually when anyone says I play with your father, they're lifting up their arms, showing scars that there's a good few clips of him. He was a bit of a hatchet man.
But you're one of only 6 men to hold the full set of minor, under 21 and senior Ulster medals. There's Kieran Clark, Kieran Brady, Jerry Smith, Liam Buchanan and Paul Graham. So, I mean, that's quite a feat.
Yeah, it is. It's nice now. It's great, and I know I've been playing with those boys the whole way up. So we'd be all very friendly the whole way through. Yeah, it's a nice feature to hold, all right.
Yeah. So how do you explain then what's happened in the league so far this year? I mean, you've obviously been relegated down to Division 4, just like Tipperary provincial champions. How would you explain it?
Yeah, it's just things aren't clicking for us. We're not bringing the form that obviously we brought from last year in. We're disappointed with the league campaign. We've kind of left scores behind us, left clinical goal chances in games amiss, and I suppose one of the reasons could be from the lack of football that was played before us with COVID closing everything down. Maybe it's just the little niggle injuries we've had, but no excuses been made. It's ultimately not taken away from any of the county teams that we played, but I think our own mistakes were our own undoing.
Yeah, and then like, what's Mickey been saying? Mickey Graham, your manager. I'm sure he's been through ups and downs before, and obviously he's a manager who's brilliant breakthrough with you winning that Ulster title, did so well at Mullinachta as well. So you've a good man at the helm.
Yeah, he's a good man at the helm, and look, he can't be taken. Like with the games we've played, there's positives and negatives to be taken from it. Unfortunately, more negatives than positives. But no, he can't really say much, can he? He's just trying to drive us on and just keep his massive influence he has on us and just progressing us forward towards Tyrone.
Yeah, and just to reflect on last year, after you won the Ulster title, of course, you played Dublin in the All-Ireland semi-final at Croke Park, won 24-12. So it was obviously a tough day at the office. But, you'd played against Dublin, I think, in an under-21 All-Ireland semi-final, was it, several years before? A lot of same players too. But what were you expecting from the Dublin challenge? And how different was that to what you actually faced on the field?
Yeah, I suppose we were expecting what we were faced with. I don't know whether nerves got the better of us or maybe the fact that the game was in Croke Park. I don't know. But I don't think on the day we performed to the best of our ability. We made a lot of mistakes, and a team like Dublin is going to punish you for every single little mistake you make. There's no margin for error with them. They're a high quality team and punish you when they can.
And are they is one of the differences between them that they make that extra pass to ensure that whoever's shooting has got a handier shot, whereas, plenty of other teams, there's guys taking shots from all angles or maybe, being a little bit selfish?
Yeah, I suppose everyone's kind of working towards game plans to nullify Dublin. They did every year develop something new or something different that is going to make other teams question or try to set up to stop them. So they're setting the benchmark for every other county team. So it's tough for every other team just to adapt to their different systems and find a way to nullify it.
And how much are you looking forward to the clash with Tyrone on July the 10th?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Just looking forward to getting back into summer championship football, and we're just regrouping from our league, and we're hurting. But I suppose the same happened last year, and we were back to the drawing board. We only had a week last year to turn around to the Monaghan game, whereas now we had 2 or 3 weeks just to refocus and get back into the swing of things.
I'll just go through a few quick fun sort of Q&A questions, not all that serious. What do you remember of your first time being at Croke Park?
Probably just how enclosed you were. I remember standing in the middle of the pitch just at the very, very start of the game and just realising, I don't know, whether it looked bigger at the fact that the whole stand was all around you, or where you were standing on a 45 thinking, oh Jesus, I'd swing it over a score from here. It just looked further away. So I probably, just maybe a bit of lack of practice of playing on it would have just was a bit of our undoing on the day as well.
And who's your favourite player of all time?
Of all time? I like Colin Cooper. I think he was just class, and he was just he was depiction. He wasn't the athlete or that everyone has an imagery of. He was small, he was wiry, he was able to do things, he was tough, and he wasn't the big strong Gaelic player that's kind of thought of today. He had it naturally, and obviously he had to work hard for it. But he was a lot of smaller and skinnier lads could just aspire to be like him.
Who's been your toughest opponent?
You've got a lot of lads in Ulster. I suppose you've Conor Callahan there for Dublin. Then you have McManus for Monaghan and McShane for Tyrone. There's a lot up there. Murphy, and there's loads of players you could say to be the toughest.
Who's been the biggest influence in your career?
Probably my father, or a lot of club men that would have coached us underage.
What's your favourite stadium?
Brecon Park.
Okay. Best atmosphere you've ever played in?
Probably the Ulster final last year, or not last year, the year we gone by, that we played Donegal and we lost in. Probably that was the best atmosphere I've ever played on.
Okay. Who's the joker on the Cavan panel?
Oisin Pearson.
Is he? Any particular reason?
Maybe some insecurity, I don't know.
Who's the best trainer?
Probably the man that's injured now, Kieran Brady. Definitely the best trainer. Yeah,
is he called Holler? Is that his nickname?
Holler, yeah.
Yeah. Why is that?
He lives in there's a dip in the road where he lives, and he lives down in the hollow.
Okay. Who's the best dressed? And obviously the worst dressed is going to come after
that. Who's the best dressed to themselves? To himself, Killian Clark reckons he's the best dressed, but I don't know about that. Everything's Gucci with him. The worst dressed, James Smith. Probably still wears Sambas.
Right. Okay. Bootcut jeans maybe as well.
Yeah. We're getting them back on track now. We're getting them into the skinny jeans, but he reckons he'd be best in Kinelec if he came in with ripped jeans.
What player loves the media attention?
Oh, I don't know. I think we're all quite good for just keeping the head down. No, I don't think there's anyone in particular.
Does anyone think that the women love them?
Oh yeah. There's a few. Kevin Riley thinks he's gorgeous.
Is there any player from another sport that you admire?
Suppose a lot of soccer players. I like, even though I don't support them, I like Virgil van Dijk. I think he's class as a centre back and a leader. Obviously, Ronaldo and Messi for their just abilities.
And final question then: what manager from another sport do you admire?
I love the passion Davy Fitz has. He's class along the line and gets lads riled up. And saw a few interviews he did recently, and he's horrid funny with some of the things he comes out with.
Are you into hurling? Do you enjoy it?
I do enjoy hurling. Yeah, I enjoy watching all sports. I'd watch anything on the telly. I'm very, very, very easily pleased that anything, and the Euros, I suppose, are keeping us busy these days. So it's great.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, look, best of luck in the championship for the summer. Thanks very much, Padraig.
Thanks very much, Shane. Thank you.